The Man Who Knew Too Much is of extreme importance to restore. First reason is it's an Alfred Hitchcock film. It's a Jimmy Stewart film. It's a Doris Day film. It's a Bernard Herrmann film. You cannot let certain films disappear. Once the elements start going, they will disappear. We have Academy Award winners that are gone entirely. The first step in any restoration begins with research, finding reference materials. You want to find original prints that have the correct color. You want to find production and post-production notes so that you know how the film was put together. You have to examine the extant camera negative, if it exists, the preservation materials, if they exist. And once you have all of that, then you start designing and figuring out how the restoration is going to pull together, or whether it can. For The Man Who Knew Too Much, Universal had 2 or 3 prints, one of them produced by Technicolor London, where the film had been originally printed, and one produced by Technicolor Hollywood, and those became the basis of the color and density for the restoration, the British print being slightly warmer than the domestic print. And we went somewhere in between, and we're very comfortable with the final result. Scanning has come a long way, and we're now able to accurately see the resolution on a frame down to the grain level, which is extraordinary. And you get to some of the money shots, the big close-ups of Jimmy Stewart's ear during the murder in the beginning of the film, and the resolution is mind-boggling. And people aren't going to believe this until they see it on their home theater screens. Initially, when we went through the inventories, we saw something that said optical track neg P. And we said, could this be the original Perspecta track negative?
The Perspecta sound system that my father invented is a 3-channel steered pseudo-stereo system. So in other words, it's starting with a mono soundtrack, and it's using low-frequency tones to send the sound to any one or any combination of 3 channels, left, center, and right, that are 3 speakers located behind the screen. Perspecta was a good fit for VistaVision because VistaVision was a wide aspect 35mm format. So it's a great way to spread the sound out to fit the width of the picture. In other words, an intimate close-up, the sound would narrow to behind the person's face.
You have a very nice little boy, madame. His safety will depend upon you tonight.
Where is he?
Whereas, you know, a busy active scene, like in Marrakesh, the sound widens and gets louder to match what's going on in that scene. One thing I appreciate about this release is that in the vaults at Universal, preserved down from Paramount, was the original optical negative of the Perspecta sound. So this is actually the master optical recording that was made at Paramount Sound Division the days that they made the Perspecta encoding for the master print. Nobody has heard this soundtrack the way it was heard in a theater since the 50s. So now we're going to hear it as it was heard in a movie theater, as opposed to a mono soundtrack, which has been the prior releases.
Alfred Hitchcock made about 50 films. As far as I know, only one is missing. And I think that it is important to make sure that all the others have been saved, and Universal has been terrific with that. Any archivist has a great responsibility to the original filmmakers, to the director, obviously, to the production designer, to the cinematographer, obviously, to make all of their work look as they want it to look. Within the universe of films that Universal controls, this is an important one. And it was on the verge of going, so they stepped up to the plate and funded it.
I'm sorry we were gone so long, but we had to go over and pick up Hank.